Growth only happens when you take a step into the dark. In this episode, as I do every month, I'll share with you 10 property deals that my clients have bought that I've posted in my Facebook group in the month of August. High cash flow, high yield deals, huge growth, often tens of thousands of dollars in the first month or two. Off-market deals, under-market value deals, and deals with huge value-add potential. If you want to judge the performance of your own properties, or you want to buy property and want to understand what makes terrific properties that you should be buying, then this is the episode for you. My name is PK and I help people build passive income through the Property Investment Accelerator using data without needing a $15,000 buyer's agent every single time. This channel, we expose the reality of property, the economy, and financial happiness. Hit the subscribe button, give it a like, and let's go. All of these deals have been posted in my Facebook group, Australian Property Mastery with PK. There's more than 50,000 people in this group. I've posted a deal here every day or two for years and years and years, tagging the client in it. So they're all verifiable, more than 3,000 property deals. And I'm grateful to say I have the most social proof in the real estate industry out of anyone in Australia. You can DM these clients and see if they're legit. Let's go. Deal number one, under 350K, 6.4% yield deal with bonus tax savings, grows $70,000, 21% in just 6 months. So I don't know if any one of you were kind of umming and ahhing about properties 6 months ago and you didn't buy. If that's you, you've just sort of missed out on $70,000. Zero vacancy, already tenanted. It's great to buy property where there's already tenants because then owner-occupiers aren't interested and they're easier to buy and obviously have no vacancy. It was built in 1994. Anything after 87 means that there's depreciation tax benefits which offset your income. That's already achieved 100% cash on cash ROI because it only needed $70,000 to buy this. And so just in 6 months, there's been 100% cash on cash. I don't know any other asset class where you can do this predictably, reliably, and on repeat. The client here is Prabhagaran. He's done a terrific job. He was bought without a buyer's agent, saved himself $15,000. The purchase price was just $327,000. The total funds required $70,000 and the rent was $400 a week. Here's the property, really, really beautiful brick home. Let's go to number two. Under 310K, 6.9% yield cash cow, bought with just $47,000. So if you're thinking, hey, I only have $50,000, $60,000 to invest in real estate, can I do so? The answer is yes. It grows $70,000 or 23% in 6 months. Once again, more than 100% cash on cash return in just 6 months. And this 23%, I mean, gone are the days where you don't have access to data, where you have to follow things like amenities, proximity to CBD, proximity to train stations. None of that stuff guarantees any results. We want to guarantee results as far as possible. And if you use data, you can get results like this. I mean, it's gone up 23% in just 6 months. Low maintenance. It's a perfect brick home, really neat and simple. He's bought this $35,000 under comparable properties. And that's because he learned how to value the property. Most people value the property. They go on real estate or domain or CBA's website, bank website. And you know how there's like that estimation tool and it says high confidence, low confidence, this is what the property's worth. Ignore that. Learn to do it yourself. If you can start to do that, then you can buy under market value because other people may not know the true value. Aniket Desai is the client who's bought this. He's bought for $308,000. Total funds required $47 and rents out at $410 a week with just 0.59% vacancy in a 606 square meter plot of land. He's bought this in Queensland from Sydney and here it is. Really, really nice property. Number three, this is crazy, over 45 properties bought now. Emily has. Shout out to Emily. I mean, congratulations. You can reach out to her. I want to actually as well. She's a terrific client. I can't take all the credit for all of her properties, but she wanted to buy Interstate and she didn't know how to do that following data reliably, consistently without catching flights or using a buyer's agent. That's why she did the course. And look how many properties she's at now. Crazy 7.2% yield below 350K. You can still buy properties under 350K. Grows 70,000 or 22% since bought 6 months ago. Property had higher offers, so check this out. Actually, other people offered more, but she's used an advanced negotiation strategy strategy, which I teach in the course, and still won the deal. And that's because she looked at terms. She made the terms of the deal so attractive to the vendor that they were happy to take a lower offer. It's a huge 809 square meter plot of land with big value add potential. And the secret was she secured this within hours. If you're educated, you're not umming and ahhing, you see a deal, you know it's the right deal because you know exactly what data you're looking for and you can go for it. Terrific work by Emily. Purchase price $322, $60,000 to get in, rent per week $450. Brilliant short and long-term data. Vacancy rate 0.68%. Block size is huge. She's bought this in Queensland from Wollongong, where she resides. Didn't catch a single flight. Had all her due diligence, local boots on the ground due diligence done for her without her having to do it, through property managers, through building and pest inspectors. She's self-sufficient, clearly, to rinse and repeat. He's done it 45 times and building genuine passive income. Look at the state of this property. It's absolutely stunning. Great renovation. I'd love to have this in my own portfolio. Number 4, 6.6% yield WA property below 400k grows 85k or 22% in 6 months. Here's a common theme. You don't need to buy properties over 5, 6, 700k. Stick to under 400, 500, maybe 550. That's the sweet spot for really high yield, and there's no correlation between how expensive a property is and its growth. So you might as well reduce your risk, diversify your assets, and buy such properties. 44% annualized growth based on bank val, but not just bank val, based on real sales as well. Future subdivision potential with R2030 zoning, and that's a great thing to have. You know, cut up the property, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, you got 2 on the same land. 0 vacancy. Prashant has done terrifically. So actually he's bought twice now without buyer's agent, so he served himself $30,000. Bought for $395, total funds is $75, rent $500. Vacancy 0.64, 728 square meter brick properties. Bought this in WA from Sydney. Brilliant property right there. And I also want to say, I have not cherry picked these, right? There's a client buying a property literally every single day. I'm not cherry picking them. I post almost every single deal that clients buy and that they allow me to post on the Facebook group. So you compare this yourself with what buyer's agents are getting and you see which are better. Off-market Perth property with 50k instant equity growing by thousands daily. None of that is an exaggeration. Inferior properties across the road from this one sold for $50,000 more between when the contract was exchanged and the settlement time. So that means the value has clearly been demonstrated to have gone up, and when they settle, they can go to another bank and refinance that out. And 50k is enough for a deposit, so you've just made a deposit in literally a few weeks. And this wasn't on realestate.com or Domain. Just called local agents, built a relationships. I teach how to do that in the course. The scripts, the techniques, the strategies, anyone can do it. Don't need to be a professional. And that's how you get these types of properties. And market rents are likely to rise $4,000 to $5,000 in the next 12 months. So then this becomes positive cash flow in that time. Simone Muscat, congratulations to her. Bought for 500k, needed 100k to get into this one. Rent is $550. Really strong data all around, and here's the property. Property number 6, Sydney man makes $195,000 or 42% capital growth on an under 500k Perth property in just 1 year. So once again, I don't want to rub it in or I don't want to create FOMO, but this kind of result in the last year is possible in the next year. And you'll see me create videos just like this 12 months from now, where I'll share how someone else has made 200k in a year. So get off the sidelines. I don't care if you work with me or someone else or do it yourself, but do something because you want to make money. And the best time to invest is now. Made another 3 house deposits doing basically nothing, Nick has. He's done terrifically well, based in Sydney, as you can see. And this just allows him to build, compound his portfolio, get more assets, because it's faster to build your deposit through equity in this way, through capital growth, than it is through hard-earned savings from your 9 to 5. A lot of people say they use data these days, but you really need to use true data to find about to boom suburbs, not just those where everyone's already talking about it. For example, everyone's talking about Perth right now, but we're already barely buying there anymore. find the next Perth and the next Perth. My clients are already on to the next Perth, all right? This is all possible if you actually are chased to real data. So 422 bought for $462,500, needed $85,000 to buy this, $510 per week in rent, 0.86% vacancy, 544 square meters, 1994 brick build. You know, if you have a few of these in your portfolio in 10, 15 years, you're laughing. Property number 7, spectacular 7.7% yield property, bought $40,000 or 9% below comparables. And here's the proof. The seller really wasn't happy about it. So the seller actually tried to terminate the contract and he regretted selling it too cheap. What happens if you use the strategies I teach? You really put pressure on the seller in a good way and you entice them to sign on the dotted line through termination or expiry clauses. And you make your offer really worthwhile for them using terms, not just price. You don't want it to go to the first open home. And if you get that contract signed before that, when it does go to the open home and they realize actually this is worth a whole lot more, it's too late for them. They can't terminate because you've already countersigned, and in that way you made money going in. Once again, use data to find easy to buy, about to boom suburbs. So many of you are struggling to buy property because you're buying in locations that are really hot. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. But why not use data with more dexterity, with proficiency, and anyone can do that, to buy about to boom suburbs that are perhaps a little more cooler, and so they're easy to buy and you still get that growth just a few months later down the track. David George, I did a YouTube interview with him. He's a really hard worker. He's bought 3 interstate properties now. He's saved himself $45,000 in buyer's agents, and that's a whole deposit. $440,000 purchase price, $85K required to get in, $650 a week in rent, 0.53% vacancy, 800 square meters, 2008 build, bought in Queensland from Sydney. There's too much misinformation out there. You're probably watching a whole ton of YouTube videos from different providers. Really easy to make mistakes. And of course, the buyer's agents will say, we'll do it for you, but they often make more mistakes than you do yourself because no one cares about your money as much as you do. And they have a waiting list. It's a business model for them. They have to churn and burn. Data doesn't lie, neither do results, neither do numbers. If you use data, okay, don't listen to me, listen to data, and then mentoring how to interpret the data correctly using different statistical techniques. Then that allows you to accelerate your property investment journey because the science of property investing is easily learnable. That's proven now. When I started out, people were like, no, you need to be a buyer's agent. I was like, no, anyone can do this. 1,200 clients, 3,500 properties later, it definitely works. Anyone can do this. Here's the deal that David's bought. Terrific all around. Number 8, stunning Perth property under 350K gives $250,000 of capital growth or 79% in just 2.5 years with 7.4% yield. Who says that you have to make a trade-off between yield and growth? Whoever says that doesn't know what they're talking about, because remember, this wasn't COVID time. 2022 was when interest rates started going up, and these are counter-cyclical buys when a lot of people thought the housing market would crash. Definitely Harry Dent did anyway. This is how lives are changed. Huge 813 square meter block. It's the land that appreciates, not the building. Get big blocks, big land to asset ratios. Bought through SMSF. You might have your superannuation with the industry fund. That's great. I mean, I'm not giving you any SMSF advice. A lot of people these days realize that the people managing their money for them in super, they're actually not retired themselves. They're not terrific themselves. It's just some big institution that barely outperforms the market. Why not do it yourself? Why not maximize the return on investment on your money? And if you can make 79% in 2.5 years, I don't know many super funds that are doing it. Anyway, you be the judge of that for yourself. Bought twice without a buyer's agent, saved $30,000. This is David again, all right? This was actually his other property. $331,500 was the purchase price, $60,000 to get in, $450 a week in rent, 0.51% vacancy, 813 square meters brick, bought in Perth from Sydney. Don't risk giving the keys of your financial future to someone else, whoever that may be, including me. Don't become dependent on any random property company for every single property purchase, including myself. Don't pay a buyer's agent $15,000 just to send you links of real estate or domain or off-market deals, which you can get pretty easily yourself. Don't be fooled into buying like ineffective bait and switch courses from buyer's agents that don't really work, and then that is intended to upsell you into their full service when you get frustrated that it didn't work. No one cares about your money as much as you do. And if you can buy properties like this, where they go up 80% in under 3 years with almost 7.5% yield, I mean, you be the judge of whether that's good or bad. Can you get positive cash flow properties even with higher interest rates? Yep, you can. This is positive cash flow, 11% yield, huge 860 square meter property, under 350k, bought off market. Richard gets his 10th investment property. Richard's a gun, like he's an absolute beast. This is no joke, okay? This is the real deal, and I'm really, really proud of him because he's really focused. You don't need oodles of time, you just need focus, clarity, and discipline, and anyone can achieve these results if you actually put your mind to it. This one's grown 60k since bought in February this year in 2024. 2 separate dwellings, so it's a dual income established asset, and hence the yield of 11%. And of course, if this went to market, if he hadn't built that relationship with an agent, which anyone can do within 1 or 2 weeks, then it would have been sold for far more than $331,000. It wouldn't have such a high yield as 11%. So Richard's bought 10 times now, and he's just paid me once. All right, I've just taught him everything. Teach a man to fish and he can feed himself for a lifetime. That's the principle. And then he saved himself $150,000 in buyer's agent fees. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. $331,500, $60,000 to get in, $710 a week in rent, 0.6% vacancy, 860 square meters, bought in Queensland from Sydney. You can tell the pictures are pretty crappy, and that's because it was off market. There was no marketing campaign. And number 10, last one, Sydney software engineer makes $110,000, 21% equity in 6 months on beautiful Queensland property. So 6 months, all right. What does a software engineer in Sydney make? I don't know what it is, maybe 150,000, 200,000. So he's basically doubled his salary, or at least increased it by 50%. Just by buying this one property, and it's going to continue to pay dividends. Because it's 2007 built, there's good tax depreciation benefits. Not that that's the reason we're buying, but it's a bonus for those of you who are on higher incomes out there. Rupal Nirmal, she's done terrifically well. I'm really, really proud of her. Purchase price $515,000, 100k to get in, $575 a week in rent. Great data, 0.85% vacancy, 704 square meters, built 2007. Bought in Queensland from Sydney. I feel that a lot of Sydney, Melbourne people have realized there are better opportunities elsewhere, and so many of you, quite rightly so, are buying Interstate and doing it yourself, because Interstate doesn't have to be a daunting thing if you have the right team. The team does not include buyer's agents. We don't need to waste money on that when people can do their service for us for free if you have the right data and the right mentorship. If you don't separate yourself from your distractions will separate you from your goals. All these 10 properties, and there were far more bought in the month as well, are done by people who really are locked down. They know they want financial freedom. They know they want financial happiness. They want passive income, a higher net wealth. They realize they have the means to do so financially, and the bridge is education. Education is the biggest inoculation from making mistakes. No one cares about your money as much as you do. And before you invest in any real estate, invest in the 6 inches between your 2 ears, because that real estate is worth more than all these 10 deals put together. That real estate, if you really enrich it, can make you millions and millions and millions over your lifetime. So to level up, I'll leave links below to this Facebook group where you can reach out to all these clients. Australian Property Mastery with PK, many far more successful than me, like Emily, who I shared. I'm very grateful to have her as a client. And also to my podcast, Oz Property Mastery with PK, on Google, Spotify, iTunes. You can really learn so much. And in 6 months from now, maybe you'll be sitting on $70,000, $100,000 of equity because of the decision you made today. My name's PK. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you for being with me. I'll see you next time.